Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. How are you? I am just I can't get my words out. It is Saturday morning and my last video has just gone live now, where I don't want to say I was feeling sorry for myself, because I wasn't. We were just talking about some of the realistic challenges about trying to follow your dream at the same time as trying to live your current life. So if you haven't watched that, do go back and watch it, but it was maybe not my most cheerful video that I've ever uploaded. But I am feeling a lot better, and it's only been 2 days since I recorded that video. So I recorded that on the Thursday and today is Saturday. But I am feeling better, and I think there's a few reasons for that. Superficially, it might be the nice massage that I went on. My team kindly paid for as a gift for me, and that was delightful. So some of it might be that. I'd like to think there's also an element that I have had the cathartic experience of talking to you and sharing how I'm feeling, and as much as I'm not a talker in real life, somehow talking to you doesn't feel real, so that's okay, even if I do put it up on the internet for the world to see. Yeah, read into that what you will, but I am feeling much better. I forgot to share with you last week some bits that I bought. Nothing exciting, so good. It really isn't anything very exciting, but my sketchbook that I'm doing my daily sketch in has only got a couple of pages left, so I bought another one of those. So that's the Royal Talens Art Creations sketchbook. It is 9 by 14 centimetres, and it was from TK Maxx, and it was £2.99. RRP is apparently £9.95. That's in pounds, if you're watching from overseas. I don't think I've ever seen them full price, so it might be one of those fake TK Maxx kind of prices. Then these aren't the best sketchbooks for wet mediums, but they're doing all right. So you would have seen that I've done some sketches in my slightly bigger one, and if you've been watching my daily sketches, which I upload as a short, I am using watercolour there, and although it's, you know, it's not amazing, it holds it and it doesn't always bleed through. So I think for the price you'd struggle to do better, I think. And I also picked up another one, which is, sorry I didn't tell you, that one was 80 sheets. This one's also 80 sheets, but it is a 12 by 12, and that's also £2.99. I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks. Oh, hello buddy, little Robin's just joined me. I'm going on holiday for a couple of days to Portugal, to Lisbon in Portugal, in a couple of weeks, and I think I'll take this one with me because it's quite a nice size. It's small enough that I can fit it in my bag, and it won't weigh too much, but when I open it up it will be a decent size. I might open those up actually. No, I'm not going to do that. But yes, those were my little buys. And while I was feeling sorry for myself on Thursday, I shouldn't say that, I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. Whilst I wasn't painting this painting on Thursday, because I just didn't have time or headspace to feel ready to do it, I did like a little micro 10 by 10 lino print, and it was a very quick like sketch of a lino really, because I was just playing. And sometimes doing something that you're not thinking about too much is quite nice. And this is the image. It's, you know, very naive, it's quite simple, but just a little lino there. I might do a little bit more work on it. Obviously some of the lines haven't come out brilliantly. I inked the plate up with the Cranfield Safe Wash, Calico Safe Wash, in, is it cornflower blue? In the light blue. I would tell you, but you'll balance on top of the box it's got them in, and I don't want to move you while I'm talking. And yeah, it's a nice colour, and it's a nice ink to work with. I've used it quite a lot, but I would say, considering it's a safe wash and it's meant to come off with water, I mean, it just doesn't. Can you see there how much residue is left? I couldn't get it off, but I feel like if I couldn't get it off with me scrubbing and with lots of detergent, it's probably not going to come off when I try and print a few more prints. So that will be fine. I'll probably do that off camera. Or maybe if you want me to do a lino in the future, because I haven't done one for a little while, let me know and we can do something a little bit fun. Let me know in the chat, that would be great. Right, I'm going to put that away and then we're going to talk about this week. Okay, so this week, I should say, it's blinking freezing this morning. We've had a frost and we are in, I was about to say we're in May, we're not in May, we're in March. And we've just had a frost, so it's still frosty outside because it's quite early. I've been up now since about 1:30 this morning. Did have a doze on the sofa, but consequently I'm in the shed. It's 7 AM and yeah, I'm showered, ready to go for the day. But I thought I'd come in here for a few hours and get started on this painting because I'm kind of itching. I'm kind of itching to do it now. Now I've let it out to the world and took the pressure off myself. And then did these sketches, this one here, which we'll look at in a minute, and now I'm really excited to do it. So I'm hoping that will come across, the energy of that will come across in the painting, whereas I think if I had done it last week where my energy was much lower, I don't think we would have got an image that I would be pleased with. We are yet to create said image, so it might be that that does not come out very well either, but in my head I'm thinking I'm excited, let's do it. So I'm up early and out, and what a delight that it's light and there's blue skies at 7 o'clock on a Monday. Oh, Jesus, Katie. That it's, what a delight that it's light at 7 AM on a Saturday morning. I think we should take a minute to appreciate that. And the robin is behind you, just up and down. He's up and down in the ivy, obviously looking for bugs and stuff. But if I'm looking around you, that's why, because he's very chipper this morning. So let's have a look at the image. Just in case you haven't watched my series of this, a few weeks ago I went for a little walk along the Orwell Estuary. I don't know if that's its proper term, but you can look it up, in Suffolk, which is, it's near Ipswich in Suffolk. And I went for a walk along there and it's just made me want to paint. So I've done these two paintings behind us as well as some smaller ones. And today I want to carry on with the series, creating something similar to this one with the swan, but with the oystercatchers that were there. I've done quite a lot of sketches. I won't bore you with all of them, but I'll show you the big one. So this is the sketch of what we're going to try and create today. I'm going to do it in mixed media, which is how I did that one there, and we're going to start with loose watercolour washes and we're going to build up on that. So they do take quite a lot of time because I need them to dry thoroughly in between each layer. So we're going to get this first layer done this morning, then I'll go and do breakfasts, then I'll come back, maybe get another layer done before football, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll be popping in and out quite a lot today. I don't think we'll get it finished today, but I'm back at work tomorrow, so I won't do any more on Sunday, but I am back in here hopefully on Monday. So I think now I've got a clear plan, I'm hoping we can get this done, something along these lines. Is there anything else to say? Yes, I was going to show you. So I've done the sketches. Where is my little sketchbook? I did some sketches of the Oystercatchers from a book because I was filming on my phone. So these were the sketches I did. Today I am filming on my new camera, which I did use last week, but when I was editing it I noticed I'd got it on face tracking, so the camera was kind of moving quite a lot, which I think is probably great for when I'm out and about because it has a gimbal in it and it tracks, which would be brilliant. But for in this shed, it was I found it a little bit off-putting, so I've taken that off for today. I still want to work out. I think I can change the light settings a little bit. I think it's a wee bit bright on there when you watch it, certainly brighter than it is when I film on the camera, which I think will be good if I'm filming in the evenings, but during the day I looked a bit like a ghost, and it might be that I was. You know, maybe I've got no HB and consequently I have white lips. Maybe I'll check in the mirror when I get in. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. I was going to show you, these are some screenshots of the Oystercatchers that I saw. They're quite blurry because they were quite a long way away and I've zoomed in a lot, but this is the ones that I saw. A couple of little screenshots there. So I'm going to redraw them out based on those shapes because I do want it to reflect what I saw on the day. And for those of you that didn't see the image, this is the image that we are going to recreate. Right, let's do it. I've done what I did last time for the swan, which is create like a little template to mask out the area. My face, that face tracking's back on, sorry. So to mask out the area of the painting that I want to stay white, because I don't want it to get muddied up and I want to keep it clean for the detail. And also I want to be able to work quite freely with these mixed medias and not have to stop and start and work around it. So I have created like a little template to mask that area off, a bit like I would when I'm doing my silkscreen prints. I've used some, it's not Stay Wet palette, you know, like the disposable palettes you can get for oil painting. I've got quite a few of those, so I've used that to draw it up on and cut it out, and then I'm going to pop masking tape on it and then recut it out again. So that's what I'm doing now. So I stuck that on some tape and then I'm going to recut this out. Now, because I do it this way and I already draw quite loosely, when I cut it out, the shape that's cut out is going to be a little bit squiffy, but deliberately so. So it's not going to be accurate. It's not going to necessarily be, you know, 100% reflection of an Oystercatcher shape, but I want it to give me the sense of it, because I quite like having that white, I don't know if you can see on the swan behind us, but there's like a little thin white line around it, which is what you get when you print, if you're like me and you print in a hurry. But that's what I like. Now I'm hoping this tape doesn't lift up the paper, because I've run out of the tape that I used last time. But it's going to be quite a small margin around the edge, so I think I should be safe. If you hear me swearing about it after I finish the painting, then you can say I told you so, if you're telling me not to use it. Right, I'm going to cut this out off screen because it's taking ages. Here is my little masked out shape, and we'll stick it on. I will do the same with the other one. I could use masking fluid to do this with, but I don't think I would get as crisp an edge as I do when I cut it with the tape, because I quite like crisp, sharp edges on these kind of images. So that, and whenever I use masking tape it goes wrong, so that's why I haven't used masking tape. Right, I'm going to turn you over. Grass, that's there, we want them in this bit here, so I'm going to have one about here. It's very hairy this morning, and this one is going to be a wee bit further back, so I'm just going to press them down and make sure they're attached really well. I think when I come to lift these I'll do that with a heat gun. Right, so what we're going to do now is get in these base layers. I'm going to use the same colour set that I used before. So that was, where's my thingy gone? Where's the tray? Can anyone see it? So this is the tray, the colours that I used last time. I'm going to use this again just to mix them up. I used I'm getting through these quite quickly. These are the some Roman Szmal watercolours, so I'm going to use these as the base to make up some paints. Because if I do it in that pan, I won't make up enough, and then I won't be able to get these sort of big sweeping blocks of colour that I like. I'm going to start with the yellow. So my yellow is a mixture of the, why didn't I put these swatches up on the board? Because every week I've been struggling with the names. Anyway, they are a mixture of the Queen Gold and a bit of the Hands Yellow Medium, plus some stuff that was already in the palette. I don't know what, it's be a mixture of some of these. There was a bit of a greeny kind of colour to it. And then I've mixed up the red, which is the Quin Red, with a little bit of the Phthalo Blue, and again some dregs of whatever else was in it. I would say I've masked this out just for my horizon because I am terrible. What's that? I am terrible at horizons, and if I don't mask it out, we're going to end up with wonky horizon. Just going to put on my eraser. Give me a second. Let's go. Why is this so hairy? What have I been doing in here that's made everything hairy? I haven't had the cat in here. I'm going to learn my lesson, and I'm not going to pick these hairs off until it's dry. I don't really like that line so much, and it's just curve it up a wee bit. Okay, got to leave that now. I might pop in this horizon line while I've got this yellow. You can't see what I'm pointing at, but in the distance there's like a little bit of land poking out. So let's get those in. I'm going to do both pieces with the same colour initially, and then we'll work over the top with a little bit more of the Quin Gold. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that. Now under the rocky area, I want the base of that to be the pinks, because there's quite a lot of pinks in the other ones, and in this one I don't think there's going to be a whole lot, but I do want there to be a suggestion of that. So I'm going to go in with the pink now, let it dry, and then we'll work over the top with the other colours, like the dark colours. And I don't want to go too dark too quickly. I'll get some of the lightness in from that, or brightness rather. It looks like there's a little bit of the yellow still on the brush. That doesn't surprise me massively because of the way I work. So we're going from quite thin. This wants to go up beyond the birds, but down. That curve there is not very pleasing, is it? Let's get that a little bit nicer. And this is where we're going to leave it for now, because I know if I do too much it's going to get too muddy, so I'm going to leave it here to dry. I'm going to come back with our next layer. Okay, I have done breakfast. I've done my short for the day, which was breakfast, and just responded to a couple of comments on today's video. I brought my iPad in so I can have the photo open whilst I'm working on it, because I think that will help me a little bit. And what else have I done? Not a lot. My friend has just sent me a video of her daughter dancing to one of the musics I guess I play when I'm doing my time lapses, and it is honestly the cutest thing I've ever seen. So that has made me very happy, as has the fact that the sun is shining. It is still cold, there's still a little bit of sort of frost around, but I reckon by this afternoon I might get the lawn mowed, and that is exciting, isn't it? So let's have a look at this image and work out what we're going to do next. I think what I'll do is go in with the water, get some of that flatness in. There's a little bit more movement up here actually, so I might just pop in a little bit more of the pinks to get that in. Like a bit of darkness that goes from this little bit of land around here. So let's get some of that in. going to take this off and we're going to pop in the sky now whilst this is all drying. And I'm going to use gouache for that. That's what I've used in the others, to try and get a really flat sky. It was kind of a grey day. But I'll use the same colour I've used before. So I've used a mixture of the where's it gone? I don't see. Ash blue and the Myosotis blue. Love these colours. I'm just waiting for them to go on sale on Jackson's. They occasionally, you know, they kind of, with Jackson's, they do this sort of rolling sales, and I'm just waiting for them to go back on sale, and then I am going to stock up on different ones because they're absolute favourites, and they're quite pricey, and I know I should be not spending money, but you know, I really like them, and I feel like I'm going to be using a lot more this year as I do more mixed media. So for me, I feel like I don't mind spending money on stuff that I know I'm going to use or that I haven't already got. What I'm going to do is work on this because I want more of the golds in there. I do want to leave some of the yellow, but not too much. So let's use the palette that we've got and just add a little bit more water to there. And I'm going to add some more of this Queen Gold. I think what I want to do, I'm not going to work too much more on the foreground for now. I want to get this piece of water a little bit more how I want it. This is left in the palette, so I'm going to use that, mix some of these bits into it. The good thing with using what's left in the palette is I know that they were some of the colours that I've used on the last image. That's actually quite green, maybe a bit too green for the water. Maybe if I use that middle one, middle one's less green. I'm going to add in a little bit of the royal blue and then a bit of the, what's the other one, phthalo blue. I'm having lots of fun at the moment and just sort of layering it up and building it up. A lot of what you can see now is going to be gone, you know, this afternoon or tomorrow or Monday, not tomorrow, this afternoon or Monday when I keep building on it. I start generally with the watercolours and then layer up, and then when I want the thicker colours I'll go on with some gouache, pencil. I don't think I used any ink, but mainly pencils, and some Neocolours or oil pastels, that sort of thing, for the more heavier marks. So at the moment, yes, it does look a little bit of a mess, but the trick is to kind of layer it but without losing that vibrance. So there's always a risk of that if you do too much too soon. So that's why I'm going to stop with that, and I need to go out. Good afternoon. So Saturday afternoon, back from football. The lawn has been mowed, kind of. You know, that first mow of the year when it's still a little bit damp isn't very clean, so there's quite a lot of grass on the lawn, but that will get picked up on the next mow, I'm sure. This tape has lifted a bit, so I'm just distracting and rubbing it down. But I'm quite pleased with how it's coming on. There's a few bits that are a little bit messy, and what I'm kind of struggling with is I really like the vibrancy and the colours in there. I'm not sure I've quite got it right in here yet, but I think that's because I haven't got any of the darks in, so I need to get some darks in so that the areas where it is lighter you can see that vibrancy. So I think that's going to be my next step, is get those darks in, so then I can work through the other bits. She says, you know, like that middle bit there where it's sort of grey, and on this one it is a lot darker here, so I do need to, that's my next bit. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to pull up the photo and have a look, and then we'll work out what the steps are going to be. So I'm going to flip you back onto the other camera so we can see from above. Right, so I need to get some darks in around here and a little bit around the back there, and something on the horizon as well, because it's all just a little bit light. So I've made up like a grey, but it's a very blue grey. I do wonder if I want it to be more of purple. I'm going to add a bit more red to that, or the magenta to it. I do want it to lean towards the reds. Okay. Let's have a look. Right. So I think you can see I've been having lots of fun. What we have used, what haven't we used? So I've gone in with a bit of acrylic actually, because I just couldn't get the dark colour I wanted with the watercolour or the gouache for across here, and I will go in with some even darker colours in a bit. We've gone in with some pencils, and yeah, I maybe regret these marks a little bit, but we'll live with them for a little while. What I'm going to do now is take off the birds, and then we're going to leave it to dry. I'm not sure I'm loving the grass just yet. Do need to do something here. This needs a bit more darkness to it. I quite like the bow. I quite like the naivety of it. Maybe need to pop in a little bit of shadow or something. What I'm missing is any quietness. So either I'm going to have to make this passage here flat, or go back in and make this flat, because at the moment there's just way too much texture. This camera is very clever and very fancy, and I don't know how to use it. It's causing some problems. Anyway, so I don't know where we are. Where are we? We are Monday now. So I was at work yesterday, so that's why I didn't get in here. And so today is like my Mother's Day, actually, or it's like any other one of my days off. And we're going to do some painting, and I'm really pleased with how it's coming along. I think we said last week, although I can't really remember what we were talking about on Saturday, but I'm sure I was talking about needing to flatten some of it out because there's a bit too much going on. So I am going to do that today, which I sometimes find hard, particularly when there's certain passages within the messiness that I like, but equally I know that sometimes you just got to knock it back, because otherwise it's too cluttered and your eyes don't know where to look. So that's what we're going to do today. I decided that I was going to treat myself. So when I finished my first sketchbook for my daily art challenges, I was going to treat myself to a nice fountain pen. And we've got a really nice little art shop in town, and I knew it was closing, but it's closed. It must have closed over the weekend, so that's really disappointing. And what it means is I'm going to have to buy things online that I didn't really want to buy online. I was hoping to, you know, support them just for a few more days before they went. So never mind, it's fine. I don't really need it. I've probably got a fountain pen somewhere if I look around the house hard enough. But you know, when you've given, you know, in your head you're like, oh, yes, that's going to be my little treat. It's like my incentive for keeping going. But I have finished. Did I bring it in? I did bring it in. So I've finished my first daily art challenge sketchbook. So I might pop that on the next video, because this one is hefty. So for you it's only been like a few seconds since you last looked at this, but for me it's been a couple of days. So I'm just going to have a quick look through it with you. So I think the passage that's going to have to be knocked back is this bit here. Because if I go with that, there's then no texture, and this whole section will be just really plain. Well, there's a bit here, but yeah, I feel like this is the section that's going to have to go. So I need to go back to my original photo just to have a little look at which of these kind of colours I want to go with, because I'm going to just go with a flat colour. I'm quite pleased with how this has turned out with the acrylic. I think I'm going to put in a few more passages here that are flat as well, with like a dark colour. I don't think it's miles away from being done. I'm going to put the stencils back on, I think, just so that I can get this flatness in without ruining this too much. So we'll do that. I'm just debating whether I need to put a little bit more of this in the background, but maybe a lot thinner, so add quite a lot of water to it. And it'll be almost watercolouring. Let's test it out. Watercolouring, goodness me, Katie. That's still... One day I'll have better use of language. Right. So like that. All I've done, and it's, you probably can't even see it, but I know it's there, it's just on this horizon line, just add a little bit of it in. Okay, I'm going to dry it off. I might mow the lawn whilst it's drying. I mean, it got mowed the other day, but still a lot to pick up. Let this dry, and then I'm going to come with this. Actually, maybe I'll just quickly do this first. I just want to knock back some of this grass. No, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to come back in a minute. I think it is looking a bit better. It's not coming as easily as that one did, but I'm not worried. I just need to get in. This foreground isn't quite right, so I'm going to do something with the grass. I need to get some darks in, because that was really dark, that sort of middle passage, or some, it's just looking a bit too multicoloured, so something to knock that back a little bit. I know the Oystercatchers look a little bit dodgy, but that's okay, I'll work on them once they're dry. I just need to get a bit more detail in. I did do them pure, well, it wasn't black, I used a Payne's grey actually, but they were just too solid, so I've just made a few more marks on them. It's a bit husky. I'm much happier with this passage. I'm enjoying this as well. I'm not sure if I might do a bit more, but then, yeah. I'm happy. I'm going to leave it to dry thoroughly, and then I'm going to come back and work on these. Then we'll take the tape off, and then we'll just get a feel for if anything else needs fixing. Okay, here's the bit I hate doing, which is I'm going to try and pop some shadow in. It worked with the swan, so let's hope it works with these. Oh, why am I so nervous? Let's go. Let's do this. This room is such a mess. I do love doing mixed media, but because I use everything and I'm not a tidy worker, the room just gets very chaotic very quickly. What I'm going to do is take the tape off the edge so we can see what we're dealing with, and then we'll do any finishing touches that we need to do. I'm a little bit nervous, I don't know why. I think because the last one was so successful to me, this time I'm a little bit nervous that when I take this off I'm not going to get that same feeling. Let's see how it goes. I love how it just changes the whole picture by popping a white frame around it. Okay. Right, give me a minute to process and decide what I'm thinking. Okay, I've had a good stare. There's a couple of bits I want to do. I want to break up this a little bit. I don't want it to completely go, but what I thought I'd do is use some of the light ochre gouache and just drag a little bit across here to add a little bit of texture, and break it up a little bit. Don't want to lose it all, but I think that's a bit distracting. And I want to put in some tiny little marks of this opera, quinacridone opera, which is a watercolour that I've got. And again, I'm going to drag that, I think, just into a couple of places. I can't find my Neocolours. They're in here somewhere. It's a sign that I need to tidy up, isn't it? What I'm going to use instead is my pastel pencils, because they'll be soft enough, I think, to do what I need to do. I'm going to knock it back, but not with another colour. I'm going to pop on a layer of my clear gesso, because that's what I would used to have done when I was just working in acrylics, and I think it will work. So that's what I'm going to do now. I am much happier now, and I know I didn't do a whole lot, but popping that gesso on here has added just a tiny bit of texture and a little bit of variation in the colours, which I'm happy with. I've used some blue Neocolours and a few blue pencils down here, and I think that helps, just brings it together a little bit more. So I'm much happier. I don't know if you can actually tell the difference between what I've just done and how it was a little while ago, but I can, so that's good. Well, this is unexpected. It's Friday night. The video comes out tomorrow morning. In fact, it's Friday night past my bedtime. It's like 9 o'clock. And because I've had a busy week, I hadn't finished editing the video and just came to the last few clips where I was talking about the painting and everything, and it's all corrupted and it's not recognising it. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it proves fancy cameras aren't always for the win, and I needed to come back out here, re-record my little outro and final chatty bit with you. Can't really remember what I was talking about, but I can tell you the video was very, very, very long, and I've got it down to about an hour. And because of this kerfuffle, I'm not going to have much time to make it really short, so it's going to come out as it is. So it's going to be long. I know that will probably put quite a few of you off watching it, so I apologise for that. And what I'll try and do is make a very short, like, edited version of it and put it out later in the week. But yeah, it's either that or I don't put it out tomorrow, and I want to put it out tomorrow. So let's pull up the painting and we'll talk about it again. It's a few days later, by the way. It's Friday night. I don't know when we last spoke. It was Monday, wasn't it? So it's been a while. So this is like looking at new painting for me. So we'll look at it together. It's better than I remember. So that's always a result, isn't it? When I was watching it back, I was thinking this was too purple, but actually now seeing it in here today, I think it's just right. Really, really love the boat. And these guys are pretty cute and quite fun close up. They're quite sweet little things. So yeah, I am really happy with it. Really like the grass and the rocks. So it's amazing what leaving something for a few days does, because I was talking to my friends at work about it and I was like, oh, I don't think I like it as much as a swan. And actually now that I've come back to it, I like it a lot. There's probably more going on than there is on the swan painting. But that's okay, I like it. So this is the bit, I suppose, I can't really remember what we were talking about, but there were 3 clips that were quite a few minutes long each. So I must have been talking about something really interesting. But it's been a long week and I don't know that I've got anything interesting to say. So what I would say is, if you have sat through this very long video and have enjoyed what you've seen, please do press the like button and leave me a comment. Let me know if you, like me when I was watching it, started panicking because it was looking terrible for a while. And actually, by trusting the process and carrying on, I've come out with something that I really like. And that is, I think, for me, the beauty of this mixed media work, because you can lay it down and keep going over the top until you get to where you're happy. So I am very happy with what I've got. So yeah, leave me a comment, that would be amazing. What have I not asked you to do? Subscribe. If you could subscribe if you want to watch more of this, and I will try and bring out like a shortened version of this later in the week. I'm actually going away for a few nights, so expect next week's video is going to be, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a bit different and not so much from my shed. I'm going to be back on here talking to you tomorrow morning, so if I had anything really interesting to say, we can talk about it tomorrow. This video is way too long anyway, so I am going to leave you be. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon tomorrow. Bye.